albums chart, landing him a cosign from the likes of Drake and Jay-Z. However, this success has come with many conflicts, including a domestic violence dispute and many other violent affairs, almost following the footsteps of his label owner, who himself has a turbulent past marked by controversies and legal issues, which poses the questions: who are the victims of Ken Carson? How has he managed to overcome these allegations while building such a prominent career? And will he ever face the consequences for his actions? On the 19th of August at approximately 4:15 a.m, police responded to a phone call to the Grand Bohemian Motel in reference to a battery, where a female stated that Kenyatta Frazier, aka Ken Carson, hit her while they were in their room. She would then provide a sworn written statement explaining the incident, where she stated she came to visit Ken at approximately 5 p.m, and that approximately 30 minutes later, Ken attacked her by physically tossing her around the room. She further stated that she sustained a cut to her right ear, a small cut to her nose, and a bruised hip. Ken also supposedly took her phone and would not give it back to her. A couple of hours later, at 3 a.m, she would be attacked by Ken Carson again. The woman then stated that she left the room but then had to come back due to her leaving disinfectant spray, which she wanted to use to help with her cuts she sustained. But Ken wouldn't open the door for her, so she couldn't get the spray. The police would then ask Ken what was going on and why he thought the woman would call the police, where he acted clueless and didn't know why she would call the police, and that nothing happened. He said the only thing that happened was that he took her phone. He further added that he was a rapper and that he left at approximately 8 p.m to perform a show, 3 hours after the altercation with his girlfriend. So in summary, Ken came to visit her at around 5 p.m, where they got into a bit of a scuffle. He then left at 8 p.m to go perform at a show, where he would come back at 3 a.m and they got into a scuffle again. The police stated in a report that they observed a small cut to the woman's right ear, nose, and a possible bruise to her left hip. Then on the 20th of August in 2021, Ken Carson was arrested for domestic violence. However, he would be soon released. He would even contact fans where he stated in message domestic violence. However, he would be soon released.
Oh damn, he's 21? This was 3 years ago. That nigga's what, 24 now?
He would even contact fans where he stated in messages, "Why do people think I fought a female? I fought a man, lol." However, in the police report, it states that the victim was Ken Carson's boyfriend, so wait a minute. But nah, the police report used the pronouns her, so it was obviously a female that he got into an altercation with. However, just a month later, on the 27th of September, the charges would be dismissed. Now, this situation is very similar to the cases Playboi Carti has had with domestic violence.
Hell yeah,
Ken is
the opium moto.
Playboi Carti would be arrested in 2017 at LAX after he got into a scuffle with his girlfriend at the time, Ruby Rose, where he would be released and get all the charges dropped. Same with his baby mama, Brandy, in 2023, where he nearly put her to sleep over a paternity test. He would then be arrested for domestic violence on a pregnant victim, released, and get the charges dropped again. It seems like a reoccurring thing. I like these opium
How the hell
they
be getting out of this shit?
The video, but if you guys are enjoying so far, I'd appreciate if you could subscribe. I'm trying to get to 20k ASAP. Also like and comment. Thank you. Let's get back into the video. Now, this wouldn't be the only altercation that Ken Carson would get into with the police. Later, in the 20th of November in 2021, Ken Carson would also be arrested on gun charges. He would be charged under the sections 25400A2, which is for carrying a firearm, and 25850A, which is carrying a loaded firearm in a public place, vehicle, or prohibited area. The rest of the documents for this case are classified, but it's nothing serious, just an adult man getting arrested for some random ass gun charges. Another time Ken Carson would get into a pretty physical altercation with the police was after making a surprise appearance at Lil Uzi Vert's Atlanta concert on the 6th of November in 2023 for his Pink Tape tour. There was a video of the incident where it seemed like Ken was trying to leave the stage until him and the police officer started exchanging some words. The video then cuts them
I remember seeing this shit on Instagram, and they started fighting with his security too.
Until it gets abruptly cut off by Opium J smacking the phone out of the fan's hand. From another POV, the cop literally had Ken in a chokehold, pinned against the wall. But that's pretty much all we got from that situation, since neither the police, Ken, or anyone made a statement. The final brawl Ken would get into is at a festival in 2023. While Carti was performing on stage, Ken, Lil 88, and Opium Baby would be seen fighting a security guard and flipping him over the barrier. Now, this was just another silly little event, which was apparently due to him not being allowed to smoke. But enough of these fights and legal issues, time to get into some beef. So, as we were just on the topic of Ken Carson and his disputes with his ex ex-girlfriend? Well, Ken would actually get into some beef, which was slightly fueled by the fact he took someone's girl. So back in 2021, Ken and YSL signee Young Ko were pretty cool back in the day, both upcoming rappers at the time, and Ken can even be seen dancing in the back of Ko's Contour music video. Now at this time, Ko would be dating a girl called Mia Owens, and they would be together for a couple years now. And just keep that in mind for later on. In the March of 2022, Young Ko would be seen replying to a fan's message on Discord stating that he's joining Opium, which of course is not true, as he's just recently signed a deal with Young Thug's YSL. But Ken would see this and decided to respond by putting out a tweet saying, "That boy is not Opium," and of course he didn't at KO, but fans could guess who was aimed at. Well, a couple months later in the July of 2022, after these Twitter beefs, Ken would release his second studio album X, which featured the song MDMA. In one line of the song, Ken would say, "Lil boy, you should have signed to Opium. I laugh at that fella, he's slaving." Now at first,
everyone thought he was talking about fucking Fago, bro, because he signed to Jack Boys and got hoed. But that's his fault. Like, bro didn't drop in what, 3 years? 2 years? He was the hardest rapper, up and coming rapper for 2 years, and then dropped shit. And then when he did, everyone just hated it. And everyone thought every fucking subliminal verse or line in the underground song was about him.
First, fans didn't really know who this was about. The first thought was, so Fago. He recently signed to Cactus Jack and hasn't put out any music since, which was thought to be due to his label holding him back. But Ken and Fago were known to be cool, so that rumor was put down quickly. Well, fans then remembered that Ken was recently getting into it with Young Ko on Twitter, and it lines up with the fact that he is signed to YSL, who held his DTFK project back for 2 years, with him now sitting at a very low 300k monthly listeners, which is where the slaving part is coming from, since he's not making any money or popping right now, even though he's signed to Young Thug. And to this day, he still hasn't dropped a project after dropping DTFK in 2022, which was actually incredible, and I definitely didn't expect such a boundary pushing project from a YSL artist, so I'll give him props. Now after Ken sneak dissed him and got all his Opium goons on him, he would then end up taking his girl Mia Owens, which I just thought was pretty funny, and she seems to be hanging out with Autumn now or something, so I don't know, next time she'll be spotted with Net Spend or something. So now that we're on the topic of Ken Carson beefing with rappers,
whoa, tight ass jeans and this pose is crazy. No one niggas would do to him if they seen him doing that shit.
Let's go back to 2021, when the underground's hottest domestic abusers, Ken Carson and Can, would be getting into some pretty entertaining beef. It would all begin when Can would tease a snippet of the song Higher Shit, which was claimed by fans to sound very similar to Ken Carson's song Butterflies, and it seemed like Ken thought the same. On the 9th of July in 2021, Ken Carson would make an Instagram post promoting his new song on Instagram, where a fan would at Can in the comments, to which Ken responded with, "Don't at no biting as rappers under my shit." Now as we know, clone allegations aren't taken lightly within the underground, so Can had to come back and stand his ground. He would go on Instagram live calling out Ken, saying fuck Ken Carson, calling him a broke ass fella, and stating that he could take over the music scene if he wanted to. Now Ken's music is pretty hard, but I don't know about...
I mean, Buddy don't even be dropping music, and he got more monthly listeners than I was about to say, yeah, Autumn and Summers, bro. When they actively be dropping music, this nigga don't be doing. He be chilling, bro. If he really like actually put in his crap and like he locked in, he could actually be at the top of the underground right now. It's like, what the fuck is he doing? Nigga making the wrong beats.
That one.
Fuck Kid Carson, bitch. You figured I got my own way. Fuckers, he done good enough. Broke ass nigga. Nigga, I'm up his for you, cause I do. I'll fucking take over this music shit right now if I want to.
Then a short time later, Ken would bite back by previewing the song Teen Bean, which had the lines, "He wanna be like me, yeah, he wanna be like Teen X.
He wanna be like Teen X, he wanna be like Teen Bean. Now you pulling on me and he rolling no weed. All the Teen X hitting the Teen X to you. Fuck by this shit, you'll never be me."
Which were of course aimed at Can. Leaned out Can would then hop on a very intimate Instagram live to respond to the alleged diss from Ken, where on the live he stated that he doesn't include disses him, then that he can drop whenever he wants, which is a shot at the fact Ken is signed to a label, meaning he doesn't have as much control over his music and releases compared to Can, who is independent.
I don't care who diss me, bro. I can drop whenever I want.
And after this Instagram live, this beef would go silent for about a year, but randomly a year later, Summers would come out and post an Instagram story with a table of a bunch of streaming numbers for many underground artists. And shortly after Summers posted that, Ken would put out a series of classic tweets. Post your shows, gang. Your fave is yet to tour, it won't sell. Rap cat boy, shut up. Now at first, fans thought this was aimed at Summers, as of course, he was showing his streaming numbers, which were higher than Ken's at the time. So the tweets were a response to Summers, basically saying, yeah, you got more streams than me, but you're yet to tour, and when you will, you won't sell any tickets. And then the rap cap tweet, well, that could have been aimed at Summers as well, because he went from a plug and be lover boy to dropping Fallen Raven, becoming a street rapper overnight. But Summers would have come out with a screenshot on a story of his DMs with Ken Carson, where Ken had sent Summers a screenshot of his DMs with Ken, which read,
Oh shit. Oh, bro, shoot the fit. Nigga gonna say that. Yeah, top tier instigator, bro. I'd do the same thing. Hey, that ain't my beef.
shoot my fade, gangster, to which Can ignored. So then Ken sent that to Summers to get Can to respond. Summers would also caption the screenshot on the story with, man, that dude ain't talking about me, meaning apparently all those tweets were about Can, which I don't think they were, but I think Ken just didn't want to beef Summers at the time. A short while after those tweets, Can would drop the diss track titled Post Your Racks Gang in the same style Ken Carson tweets in, which was a reference to his original Post Your Shows Gang tweet, with the cover art from the diss being Heard He Signed for a Scat, which was Can coming at Ken for having a low advance in his opium contract. But
Bro,
overall,
I swear, Ken Carson looked different in every shot. In all these videos he's showing, he looked different. And mind you, these are like in the span of like, what, 2 years?
the diss wasn't anything crazy. I mean, they don't have a lot to talk about, they're just mostly internet dudes. In one line, Can said, rap fellas brag about shows, I made an M of clothes, which I guess is just Can flexing he makes loads of bread from selling merch. Then in another line, lil fella, nobody copy you, keep that little shit on the floor, which is in response to that Ken Carson snippet I played earlier, where Ken said Can was copying him. A month later, Ken would drop the song Come Outside, which wasn't confirmed to be a diss. However, Can did just drop an entire diss on him a month ago, so at least some of the lines were aimed at him. One of the lines said, he just rap about them drugs, he don't really do nothing, which could be seen as a diss at Can. The majority of his image is just drugs and lean, but honestly, this beef wasn't anything serious. I feel like if Ken wanted to, he could go in
I feel
hard.
like some of these are reach and they're kind of like overly looked. Some of these are kind of a reach.
Someone, especially if he made a diss over a beat like Clutch or Hella. But in the current day, it seems that the two are on good terms. Can was seen liking some of his A Great Chaos posts, and Can even has a kid now, so I doubt he's trying to keep up any internet beef. And as we're on the topic of Ken Carson and Can, this brings us on to Ken's next beef, as they would both be brought up by the streamer and the hip-hop news reporter DJ Academic, who decided to flay them for not having any hits and being underground no-names back in the summer of 2021.
You telling me about what's this nigga's name, Ken or whatever the fuck, Barbie and Ken? He don't got a fucking song on the billboard. The fuck do I care about his music?
And to be fair, what he said is not wrong. He's one of the biggest personalities in the industry, and his fans are constantly spamming him to react to random underground rappers who will probably fade away in a couple of years, which is probably just annoying. But academics would eventually give in and react to some of Ken's music. But the review was pretty disappointing, since all he did was just call him a Playboy Carti clone, which isn't true at all. Now of course Ken would see this, to which he responded by putting out a series of tweets, saying, academics a bitch, I don't condone old ass men trying to bring down a young fella come up. Fella think he can critique music like he made a hit before or some shit. Where Ken has a decent point, to be fair. Academics is just a dude who sits in his room all day and streams. What does he know about making hits? Now fast forward a year later, Academics would bring up Ken Carson again, questioning if people are calling him a Carti clone, as if he didn't say it himself.
Some people say he's a Cardi clone.
But throughout the clip, he literally didn't say anything informative about him, just called him Bronny with dreads and a bunch of other yap.
Nigga look like Bronny with some dreads, bro.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Bronny with dreads is crazy. I can't unsee it. Oh my gosh. That's like most recent. Oh my gosh. I kind of see it.
But the two would eventually meet in 2023, where Academics had this to say about him.
I said, Uzi, you do know this whole shit, like this whole thing you created. You're like the epitome and like you're the height of creativity. It ends with you. And I think he was really not upset, but like he was like taken aback by it, but he was just like, no, definitely not. And he's like, you can't say that when look at these guys. And he pointed at Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely. He gave them mad props. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. He gave them boys mad props. When you hear him talk about those guys, he don't talk about them like they're oh yeah, they're not like me, or you know what I mean, these are little niggas. Like, he gave it the utmost. So y'all will see some of that. He came off very confident, like very confident. He knew what the fuck he wanted to do. Like, you could tell, like, there was something kind of exuding from him to be like, yo, nigga, I'm gonna be that one. You get what I mean?
Now, to be fair, that was just some petty beef over the two, but overall, it was nice to see an old head like Academics over the years start to change his opinions on upcoming artists.
Academics
and then the next beef I'm going to get into is between Ken Carson and Pierre Bourne. Now, this would all start in 2021, where a fan asked Ken Carson on Twitter if he would ever want to be on a Pierre Bourne beat, which he replied to with a simple no, which left many fans confused. Pierre and Carti used to be such an iconic rapper-producer duo back in the day,
bro,
and
because
still now, Pierre makes fire beats. So
Pierre is literally he'll go underground, then he'll go mainstream, they'll go right back to underground. Like, bro, I heard he be making beats with V's though, but he just fumbled a great bag by egoing the fuck out of Ken Carson, bro.
why would Ken be so against working with him? However, Ken would follow up with another tweet, which read, "Nah, what? That fella told me I wasn't on the same level as him. Ever since that day, I've been going up, no beef. I just wouldn't feel comfortable working. No L, I don't take no L's." So what it seemed like was when Ken was hanging around with Carti during 2019 and 2020, he probably asked for some beats from Pierre. But since Ken was a no-name at the time, Pierre declined, which left a sour taste in his mouth. And to be fair, since then, it has not gone so well for Pierre. In some latey beef with him and Opium Baby, there was a tweet put out which read, "I had to beg bro to let you in the studio," which basically meant he had to beg Carti to let Pierre in the studio, as Carti and his guys didn't really want to be working with him. And as we're on the topic of producers, Ken would actually attempt to blackball upcoming rapper Osamason by telling producers not to send him any beats. So Osamason has been blown up for the past year or so. However, he has been getting many clone allegations due to making similar distorted music to Ken Carson, especially with the song X and Sex and Cutter. It seemed like Ken didn't like the fact an artist was copying his swag, so apparently he did some industry blackball type shit, which is when someone from Osamason's camp tweeted, "Ken Carson boycotting Osamason is crazy, sob emoji," where a fan responded with, "How do you know this?" To which she responded with, "Wildcard Uno, who is..."
But I guarantee you, if no one's paying attention, he would not give a shit. Everyone copying everyone. It's not even like copying, it's literally taking inspo. Like, if that's how they want to rap, that's how they want to rap. Niggas taking it. Like, I understand it's like a way to move up, and you gotta move like that. And that's the crazy part. You had to move like that in the industry, which kind of sucks. But like, golly, I promise you, if no one knew about him, he would not care.
Respectable artist in underground told us. He would then send out another tweet saying, "He telling producers not to send beats." Now, from some research I did, my guess is Ken was telling the producers Legion, Rock, and Barfo to stop sending Osamason beats, as they all have produced songs on Ken's projects and also Osamason's. Now, Osamason would respond to all of this with an NBA Youngboy song in his story, where he used a section of the lyrics, "I grew up bumping him, couldn't dream of him hating on me," which was posted just a couple hours after those tweets from Holla came out. So it was definitely in response to the situation. And Ken would also see all of this, where he put out a couple of cryptic tweets saying, "Clout more valuable than money to you? Find better shit to post. I don't know then fellas, stop chasing narratives," claiming that he doesn't even know Osamason and his guys, and this is all fake. He would then say, "The internet not real, stop believing," again claiming all of this is fake. So Ken denied all the allegations of him blackballing Osamason, which I think he's just denying, as it would be kind of lame from him to try put down an upcoming artist, and especially as it looks like Ken was intimidated by Osamason's aura and was worried that he might overtake him one day, which is why he was trying to blackball him.
Niggas using aura. I'm start disliking you niggas videos, bro. I can't. Intimidated by his aura. Alright, bro.